This is Chris Thorpe. Welcome to Module 1, the basics of fuel hedging. In this first module of our webinar series, we will cover an introduction to futures, swaps, and options that we can use for fuel hedging in the marine fuel industry. The first thing we're going to cover today is understanding some of the basic hedging tools, including futures, swaps, and options. What is a futures contract? Futures contracts are agreements to buy or sell a physical commodity at some date in the future. Everything about a futures contract is standardized except its price. The date, the product quality, the quantity, and the location of delivery are all standard items and are not negotiable between two parties. The reason they are standardized is so they can be traded freely among more than two parties. A futures contract price is determined in the open market. In other words, it's a bid and ask process or an auction type of process to determine the price. In the current futures market trading world today, price is discovered in the trading pit, if not open outcry, in the electronic trading system world. In the last 10 years, we have largely evolved from open outcry trading pit to electronic trading. In fact, most of the trading pits of the world are disappearing in favor of electronic trading systems. That's not to say that phone brokers do not exist. Brokers and people still exist taking orders and entering them in electronic systems, which are very diverse. Futures markets are markets that trade futures, but they are not any prediction of prices in the future. Futures market therefore provide a price you can trade now, whether it be for a contract that will terminate at the end of the current month or 12 months from now. Futures markets provide exact dates in the future where goods and cash will change hands at a price known today. But futures markets are not a forecast of futures prices, and they don't predict where futures prices might be or where cash markets might be. Now, prices of futures are affected by a number of inputs. One is liquidity. Liquidity being how easy it is to trade certain quantities. It may be easy to trade 1 unit of something, but not 100 lots. So therefore, the product may not be considered to be very liquid. Larger traders are concerned with liquidity if they cannot move large volumes of product at one trade time or in one lot. The second item is cost and availability of storage. If I'm not able to store my product, I may be in a position that I must commit to sell it at a lower price in the future to ensure some sort of price visibility. If I have a lot of storage, I know that I will be free and it'll be easy to store a product today to deliver at some point in the future. The cost of insurance impacts how I can hold physical product and how long. And interest rates or the cost of money affect how long I can wait before I receive some return on my physical product that I will eventually sell. And finally, the expectation of seasonal demand and supply, and also other market influences such as changing supply and demand may affect current prices for products that will change hands in the future. A good example will be heating oil in the wintertime. Historically, heating oil in the northeast of the United States has had more demand in the winter and less demand in the summer, and therefore it will trade currently or at the present time forward or futures contracts at a premium to the current market price. This is similar in the natural gas market. An example of a Chicago Mercantile Exchange futures contract would be as follows. CLZ16 would denote the following. CL for the futures contract of WTI, crude oil. Z16 denoting December of 2016, Z being the month, and I will cover all the months in a moment. And the expiry date, which is not noted, where for a futures contract trading on the exchange, you have to refer to the current calendar because expiry dates change every year based on the calendar. And here's something you have to memorize or keep written down on your desk, if you don't know them already, are the letter codes for the month contracts at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Starting with F in January, G in February, and so on. These will denote the month of the contract as written on your screen. So as per above, the CLZ16 would denote the crude contract for December of 2016. End of test 1.